Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
keeping with what we have going on right now is definitely the way to go.
Right.
This is the first time that I feel like we've had a PARSEC exhibition where I can't really say I know much about this matchup, like, at all. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know much about these characters at all, other than I hate vehemently one of them.
That's crazy. I think it's interesting because this matchup is actually not very common in America.
Right.
Right? I think Siegfried is one of the less common characters in America, and Tira is a little bit more common, but good Tiras are very uncommon.
Tiras in Southeast Asia are kind of lit. And Japan,
Yes.
too, yeah.
Yes. And EU. I think Tira is one of the characters.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about, Ails. Yeah.
Yeah. You dropped the combo, Scav? Come on. Okay, that's I didn't try to drop combo. I taught him how to close out though. But yeah, you know, it's definitely one of the this is one of the characters where I don't think America has a representative.
Yeah, it's essentially, I mean, 8-Way Funds, but he's not really playing the game all that much anymore, and then you've got Party Wolf, and that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was very scary. Yeah, we already have a yellow guard gauge. We have 4 personality changes. I always forget how many she needs. 9?
9.
9,
Yes.
okay. That's a weird number. I wonder why.
Well, yeah, it's very weird. How negative is that? 6 AB? Is that like 16? 14?
Yeah, something like that. Again, talking about matchups and characters that I don't entirely know about, but one thing that Scavenger does know about is guard damage.
Yes.
That is a rough. I really feel like she needed to win that round in order to.
Yeah.
Because at this point, if they're in even just a slightly awkward stage position, that's it. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Does that break guard?
Yeah.
Like, he did break guard?
Yeah, definitely one of the biggest buffs that we've seen in quite a long time is providing Siegfried with B4 yet again, which was just really great. It's really great that they decided to do that.
You know, every time Siegfried gets buffs, I wonder. You know, that was an amazing Maryland sequence right there. Can we just like be at all the ballerina work, the footwork that Scavenger put in that?
Welcome to the
But I think it's interesting when it comes to when they think about buffing Siegfried. I don't know why they would buff this dumb character, but I think when it comes to these two players, I think what you'll be interested to see is probably the sequences. A lot of these players, or these two players in particular, are very sequence based in the sense that if they get their sequences going, they are going to win. Right, so it'll be interesting to see who gets their sequences first. You'll see a lot less like neutral as kind of interactions, and more so how can I get my sequence started kind of interaction.
And I'm also really interested because again, this is the first of 10. It's not a tournament set, so I'm interested to see not just the sequences, but if they are able to adapt to each other's sequences enough to where either they'll just completely destroy the opponent's offense, or they'll have to come up with like new offensive strings in and of themselves. So, right now, it definitely seems like Dell needs to figure some stuff out, and Scavenger needs to understand when he can duck strings.
Whoop, and that's punishable too! Ooh, 2 mood switches. Oh, no punish! Is that punishable? That's safe. I think that's safe.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I really feel like I'm getting the impression that neither of them really know this matchup all that well, but I feel like if that's the case, then Siegfried wins because he hits really hard.
Well, yeah, but also the interesting thing about Tira is that if Tira gets a coda, this should be a ring out. The wall exists, but the walls don't exist on this stage.
Yeah, I don't understand these walls at all. This is the only stage where Amy's 3BA just straight up rings out no matter what. It's very odd.
That's wild.
Oh yeah, if you're at the stage, there is no such thing as a wall. You just go out of the ring if you get hit by 3BA.
Interesting to see that Scavengers actually just control the pace. No punish there on the Mind Pro.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Dell is very hesitant. She feels very concerned with dealing with Siegfried stances. And trust me, I understand. But also it's a matter of, like, you have to feel comfortable with the idea of trying to challenge with buttons when you can.
Right, and I think kind of like what you were saying about Tira setting the, like, Tira being a character, like, if people don't know the matchup, it's kind of hard for her to win unless she gets coda, right? Then coda she can kind of like snowball and stuff like that. Ooh, the low counter hit.
We got in it pretty. She's pretty close, but again, she needs to not get hit like a single. Ooh, that's a back grab. Has to worry about Dark Legacy, and ooh, the reverse mix-up. Scavenger assuming that he's gonna that Dell's gonna go for a low to get away from Dark Legacy, but just decided to fuck it and just hit him in the face.
Well, that's interesting there, because the low wouldn't have killed there unless it was a lag low that you could react to. So it's interesting that he decided to duck there, being a little greedy. But, you know, speaking of being greedy, like, Dell's actually getting the mix-ups now. So things in the air.
That was scary, but also it did kind of hurt anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Siegfried things.
Alright, looks like Dell's getting used to, significantly better use of the buttons, and real quick, we have an even match. Dell was one hit away from losing her second game, and now, I would say she's in the lead. That is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that was scary. It was going to be scary because, you know, Dell had 2 bars, one thing away from Coda, but this is also scary because he's going to get Coda this game, regardless.
I kind of wish that well, I mean, that's good. I feel like there might have been a ring out or something like that.
Right.
Got Coda.
That or maybe using Soul Attack there to kind of keep the, tries to
Somebody doesn't know Coda.
But I think it's interesting there because I think the CE was the right thing. Using the meter there was correct, but maybe to keep up the pace.
the stance switch. So
yeah, but I mean, it depends on how you kind of look at it. If you want to keep up the pace, like Scavenger wasn't soul charged, so if you soul attack, you got to keep up the pace and have the mix up there, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely depends on how you look at it. Either way, she got the round, so it doesn't matter what we say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely important to try and get to Coda as quickly as possible, if only to ensure that you know what kind of level of awareness you're dealing with against your opponent for how to deal with Coda. And currently, I would say that the experience with Coda is not really all that much at all.
Right. Ooh, that did a grip of damage.
Yeah.
I think what we'll see in this matchup is more so like, I don't know how to really. Wow. That was
pretty
insane. Cool. Yeah, it's just pace. We're just gonna see a lot of tempo changes, a lot of pace changes.
Yeah, I really feel like we're gonna be dealing with. It seems like Scavenger's idea as to how to deal with Coda is to kill Dell before she gets it.
Yeah, that's a good plan for Siegfried, regardless of whatever matchup. Oh, the jump K on the grab read. Great for me.
Uses the bubble pretty early. No, that's not gonna work, Dell. What do you mean?
I'm just saying that was a very good spin there from Scavenger. It's only very good because he's a Maryland Siegfried player. Yeah, the Siegfried player is not a good spin, but you know.
Dell seems to be having a tough time dealing with AGA too. Both like where you can kind of suss out that it's going to happen, and what to do after you block it.
Oh yeah, but that was very good. That's actually the first time she's actually got the mix-up correctly, buffed the mix-up correctly. So that's a good sign that I started to understand the pacing and the timing. Oh, grabs the soul charge. That's big. Get away from me.
That always sucks when your soul charge activation gets hit out. It's not, and you spend the bar, and that's gonna be the round. Okay, 7 stances, but needs 2 rounds. So
this is scary because Scavenger cannot whip. But kind of like back to the AGA thing you were saying, Scavenger's really kind of showed 2 sequences: AGA into AGA or AGA into B6, right? And Dell has ducked some AGA, but the B6s have been kind of connecting. Even when they're blocked, there it is again. It's crazy, right?
She hasn't been block punishing the B6 at all either.
Right.
Yeah, this AGA stuff is just killing her. She needs to figure. Is this a thing?
Ooh,
No.
If she got the mood switch on the 4K, that'd have been a ring up. I didn't use the meter here.
Oh come on, Scavenger! Don't go all in. Now you have to deal with Coda.
How much? Okay, so this is interesting. Neutral's changed, but I think there might be a unblockable grab here. Oh, there it was, but she was not in. Good patience. Oh, good twitch duck. Good patience.
Oh, can never backstep in that situation against Siegfried, but very good patience by Scavenger. There was a lot of situations where he could have gotten screwed out of that round.
Well, backstep actually made sense there because you couldn't trade with the standing K, otherwise she died, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
If she backstepped, she won the round if the interaction was there. So the backstep makes sense. Oh no!
Could have been scary and ended up not being.
Yeah, that sounds like the.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're kind of getting the idea. It's totally reasonable to duck preemptively to try and deal with AGA, especially if you're dealing with AGA to that extent, and that's the round.
Well, if the wall exists.
Oh, never mind.
Oh my goodness. Outskilled. I want to tell you that that was such a skillful GI there. It's crazy.
How so?
You know, being able to
suppress
a GI that GIs everything except for lows in the situation is actually just a really skillful thing to do.
Yeah, using a button that beats quite literally all options, including options like block and walk away from half screen, is just is just really good. I hate Siegfried, dude. I despise this character. I super despise it when Siegfried gets to do things like 3A and not get punished.
Right. It's interesting though. Whoever gets the first hit, it's just an avalanche, right? Oh, another soul charge is gone.
Yeah, Scavenger kind of going buck wild right now, so Dell is having a tough time understanding when she can block things and then start pressing again. I'm kind of surprised. Siegfried isn't exactly a rare character in New York.
Right, but I mean, even then, right? I don't even think it's more so the character thing. I think it's more so the game plan thing on both sides. Really, both sides are really kind of like throwing. It's like they're throwing haymakers, right? They're like, okay, if this hits, then I'm going to do this, right? No one's really poking each other. They're not poking each other down. They're really trying to just get their stuff started without understanding what the opponent's doing, right? And it's just a matter of, did you press here? Yes. Well, you died. You know, did you not press here? Well, I guess it's your turn now. You know, it's really kind of like one of those kind of situations. And it's just unfortunate that, well, as a Maryland representative, it is very great and very fortunate that Scavenger is winning most of these exchanges. But in general, it's just very unfortunate that Tears does less damage than Siegfried overall, like you said. And so it's really hard to kind of keep that pace. So it's not really good to match Siegfried in the Slugfest department. Yeah. But it's definitely good to maybe like try to poke him down, run away, and stuff like that. So we'll see if Dell is able to kind of incorporate that into her gameplay.
It's definitely, the ball is definitely in Dell's court, where she's going to have to be the first one that actually truly adapts to the situation at hand. And I mean, it's not like Tira is want of options. I mean, she definitely has a way of just maneuvering around and using significantly better movement than Siegfried has, and that's going to be a ring. It's not going to be a ring out. I lied. Was that not a ring out? I could have sworn that should have been. I
don't know. I don't know what Tears have done there. There's the Koki to the grab again. Oh, get away from me! So skillful.
Ooh, the base hold A cancel into wall rising K. What year is it?
Oh, it's ironically 2020. Nice whip punish there from Staff. That's been the one thing that's been consistent is the A side whip punishes.
Yeah, a little bit ambitious from Dell to go for the big molly whopper there.
Yeah. I want to see Dell like really kind of poke. Nice delay. That's actually very good. In a
shoutouts to Soul Calibur 6 hitboxes. Good lord.
Once again, the Oki into the grab. That is one thing that's working for Dell. Getting the knockdown and then running up and grabbing. It's interesting because at the end of the round, Scab has been ducking, and so she's finally conditioned him to actually stand up and to grab. So that's good recognition there from Dell.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Basically, Dell hasn't necessarily done any options that could potentially beat the Dark Legacy, and I feel like Scavenger's just kind of assuming that that's what she's going to do, and it never is. And so it's just one of those stylistic clashes where you just, what was that supposed to be, a 2-2A, I guess?
Probably.
Probably want to spend bar as soon as you can. Or just lose to the... Yeah, it definitely seems to be the way that Scavenger wants to win out on most rounds, is with the cartwheel kicks that Siegfried can do.
Yeah, if you don't know how to, I think Lesson Lee brought out a video where you can actually react to which one he's doing. So if you have not watched that, check that out. It's actually very helpful. I didn't know that, so now I just never get hit by it. Or still get hit by it, but I'm gonna see the first usage of meter here from Scavenger.
Anytime it's a matter of attempting to react, I don't even watch the video because, like, what am I gonna do? Scavenger, I hope he realizes that that was a pretty big mistake to do all those things that he just did.
Yes. And
Tira just got what 3 stance changes, and now she's 1 away, and now she has it.
Look, it's all part of the Maryland plan. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's all part of the Maryland plan.
Uh-oh.
Wait.
Oh, did something happen? Let me see, I'm not seeing anything in terms of the messages. Is everything alright?
Yeah, she got the round.
Oh, what a fantastic bait. That was unbelievable. Alright, I'm just gonna double check Discord after this match just to ensure that everything's okay.
York is playing dirty now, huh? Good block on the, oh no!
She does have Coda on deck, though.
Yeah, Coda's gonna be a thing.
Assuming she actually gets a chance to use it.
No escape.
Ooh, no. Alright, good block. Ooh, and it doesn't look like... Alright, let me just see if everything's okay. She immediately hit rematch, so I assume everything is okay.
Yeah, it has to be at this point. You kind of have to play through it. But yeah, it's just really there's a lack of matchup knowledge on both sides, really.
Yeah.
Like to see more of the wall rising K punishes, the wall rising B punishes on the reverse side hole K. There's the sequence, the scavenger sequence, AGA to B6. Though, if he does 20 of them,
I mean, it's legit. It's pretty good. You know,
Yeah,
especially if you don't have to worry about punishing. And honestly, it's not the easiest thing to punish. Very low block stun, so you kind of have to be specifically looking for it.
Right. But I think the bigger issue here is, or one of the bigger themes is, this is a very my turn, your turn kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh. Yeah, again, going for the grab. Yeah, I assumed that the bubble, eventually he was going to figure that the bubble seems to be... Dell seems to be allowing the bubble to just happen whenever.
Yep. Yeah, I think when it comes to dealing with bubble, you have to kind of be more patient. And don't really force the... you don't really want to force the issue there. You kind of just want to let Siegfried show you how he's going to use the bubble and then adapt accordingly.
Ooh, nice duck.
Doesn't do the A plus B combo, though. I don't know if that's less damage or more damage or not.
Alright, I hope that Dell kind of realizes that Scav was specifically looking for the ring out in that situation. That's why he went for the AGA from that range.
Right.
Just for future, in case you end up sticking with the stage.
Yeah, I actually don't know if this stage is very good in this matchup for Tier. Tier kind of wants to poke and run away, and Siegfried actually has a tough... Siegfried's weird, right? Siegfried has a tough time chasing and running away. He's pretty decent at keeping out, but he really doesn't want to, like, chase Tier. That's where it feels like Tier actually has the advantage, and just, like, whenever interactions happen, she can kind of force what's happening with the interaction because her movement is so good and her pokes are so good, but it seems like Dell just wants to, like, scrap.
Yeah, it's overall, and unfortunately, I think that the scrapping kind of idea can work, but it's not really going to work if you're dealing with somebody who isn't going to be block punishing any of these transitions or moves from Siegfried. I definitely feel like if what you want to do is like the brutal scrapping kind of thing, you could totally play that way, but you have to take all the damage that's afforded to you. Otherwise, this is how the round ends up, you know, panning out.
Yeah, I think if you're going to scrap, you should stay. You should just like not even try to go for Jolly and play Gloomy. I think you should pick your times better to scrap. You know, if you're in Jolly, you know, 1B. 3A, you know, 6B series, and then when you're in Gloomy, then you can scrap because your damage actually is very comparable, right?
Yeah.
It's just really like
it needs to be a little bit. Right now, it really feels like, as we were talking about it, like that they're both throwing haymakers at each other. When I really feel like if what Dell wants to do is actually throw significantly more jabs, and or do one of the other things that you were talking about, which is you know, poke just a little bit and then like back up full screen, because you can be as like one of the slipperiest characters in the world.
Yes, exactly. You gotta be like a snake when you play this character because all people who play this character are snakes.
Yeah, effectively, Dell is just playing it as like a mid-range kind of game when we're both throwing out slightly slower moves, which is kind of Siegfried's whole shtick.
Yes.
I don't think there's a character in the game that, maybe Nightmare, I don't think there's a character in the game that's better at that specific kind of gameplay.
I agree. But also, let's go Maryland. Anyways,
he is 5-1, so he's already halfway home.
Yes. Interesting enough, this is probably the slowest round we've seen this entire game. This entire set right here. The slow, like 20 seconds left on the clock. I don't even think they've blocked this long. So this
and a relatively big stage too.
Yes.
Bigger at least.
Right.
And there's that bubble again.
And I'll lose. He's got a bar. Oh, the timing! That's one of the things that's interesting when it comes to scrapping is like sometimes just switching up your timing just like changes everything.
Yeah, getting those innate counter hit hunting situations. I hope that Dell realizes that at the beginning of the majority of rounds, we end up getting into those situations where Scavenger just forces a stance transition into the mix, which doesn't actually need to be respected. Neither does the mid if and when you block it. So that's definitely one of the main things that a certain Siegfried player needs to make sure that she understands after the set.
Yep. I stuck on the AGA. Okay, now getting the sequences down.
Ooh, nice stuff.
That was very good.
Yeah, I just kind of wish that the button that was used was stronger.
Right.
Oh, just got up just in time to have to block it instead of ducking it. So that's going to give Scav the second round? Yeah, I don't know. Dell's looking pretty lost.
Something's got to change. I think when it comes to just players in general, I think people are afraid to kind of change their game plan because they know what works. But when something doesn't work, you kind of have to just try to figure stuff out. And I think she's starting to get an idea of just like kind of running away, getting the life lead and just running away. But that's nice movement there. Oh, there it is.
Gets the full transition. And you know, to go back on what you were talking about, she still does have time. This is one, oh no,
yes.
I don't know about that. But like, this is one of the reasons why I like first attempts because you have plenty of time to actually see a potential true adaptation.
Right. speaking of true adaptation, did you see that true IHA punish?
Yeah.
That was a Maryland one. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's gotta be game, right? He's in Soul Charge. Does that do anything? Yeah. Okay, well, couldn't he have just spent man? I don't know.
So this is interesting. You can kind of fish for the whip punish here. It could be a.
Were these supposed to be CEs? I don't know. I don't know so much.
Maybe she's a little bit nervous, trying to figure these out.
Right,
but
she's saying that she didn't CE it, in which case that's not a surprise. That I suppose that it was supposed to be a Soul Charge activation.
Soul Charge, that makes sense. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, especially at that range.
Okay, stance dancing.
Dell definitely attempting to slow it down, which is definitely the way to go.
One of these players has to make the timings more awkward. It's just we're pretty much playing Final Fantasy right now. It's like you pick your thing. Did you hit? Yes. Okay.
Turn-based, yeah.
Yeah.
I always used to call it hot potato, where it's like I have it and then I throw it to you and then you have it. But you and I both know that we play characters and we're the types of players who don't play that game ever.
Never.
Like the only time that I will allow that to happen, especially if I'm playing Amy, is if like you ram it into my skull with like I'm gonna say at least 7 full like games won, just off of that, and then maybe I'll respect it for like a round.
Right. Ooh, no punish there, no rising B.
Man, they're going mad hesitant.
Yeah, these rounds are becoming slower, which is very interesting, right? But it doesn't really matter because even though like they'll be getting more hits in, the damage just doesn't compare.
Yeah, it's also like it's getting slower, but not it just in terms of the amount of time it's taking for the rounds. In terms of the spacing and in terms of the buttons, it's not any different. It's still this when Scavenger ends up going all in, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like more spacing out and getting the true blue whip punishes would be best.
Okay, so does have the 6B lead of it on deck. Okay, decides to do that. No duck, no punish on the block. I think that move is both duckable and punishable if you decide to block it.
I didn't actually know that. I knew about that. I just always ducked it. So I've never...
me too. But
yeah.
I think it's actually punishable.
Is it like -12 or something?
It's one of the low ones. He did like -12, -14, something like that. I think.
Alright, she's potentially going to win this round. She has to deal with the bubbles, but has plenty of life to deal with it.
There it is. Okay, the bubble's gone. That's actually very good. Into the grab Wookie again. Oh, don't need to panic here. Okay, guard damage.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate... He doesn't even care to win the round. He's just going with the guard damage. This effectively ensures that we're going to see a guard break next round.
Yes. Which, depending on when you take it, could be a good or bad thing. No duck again.
Yeah, I'm getting the impression he just straight up doesn't know about this, and it looks like Dell has realized that this is the case, and has decided to use this move and this move alone, which is definitely the way to go. What happens here? Is this a ring out? No, it's just a lot of damage. Oh my god!
Oh, that
reset. Did not combo into the and she teched, so it's gonna give the full thing. So in case you guys don't know, you do have to stay. It's going to hit you if you stay on the ground, but it's just going to do the initial hit, not go through the full cinematic. It's a relatively low amount of damage. It's not something that you want, and there's basically no actual mix-up there. You just have to stay on the ground. As far as I know, the CE is just straight up guaranteed. It's just a matter of whether they get the full cinematic or not. Yeah.
Yes. I think one of the issues here that I think is also happening too is the meter usage, right? That was really only kind of using meter with punish, but not using meter to reset neutral, right? And I think the thing about Tira is, what's wrong if Scav's gonna bulldog you? What's wrong with using the soul charge activation to kind of get space? Like Tira's soul charge is ridiculous. When she's in Jolly, like 2d6k is one of the most broken moves in the game, right? So like you have a way in, and then if stance changes, right? So there's really no reason to not use your soul charge, right? I mean, I understand if you're looking for the mood switches and stuff like that, it would make sense. But I think that being more liberal and being more outside the box with the stance switches or with the meter usage is probably will help the situation.
And it's also a matter of, like, you wouldn't even have to wait for meter in order to get Scavenger off of you. Again, Siegfried is a relatively slow character. There's plenty of reverse-type mix-ups and stuff, but, like, doing stuff like your AAs and your 2As, stuff like what we're seeing here. Look at how much more, well, I mean, don't just do it every time, but, like, you're able to poke around with Siegfried and kind of overwhelm him to the point where, like, he'll either feel like he has to force the issue with something that's relatively slower, or he'll have to go with something, he'll have to, like, back up and try to like stay put, kind of like what Scavenger is doing now. So no matter what, you're gonna have to hit him a lot more times than he's gonna have to hit you. That's just the nature of life in this kind of matchup. So okay, you eat the bubble, but you're still relatively fine. So you're like, what if you just mash 2A like 3 seconds before it happens?
Right.
What if you just go up and just straight up like 2K him like right now? I don't know.
I think.
Well.
Right into the A side B, but I think it's interesting. You know, you're talking about the number of times, and Dell hit Scavenger 4 times, and Scab did While Rising B, Chiefo KK, and the damage was even.
Yeah. That's an unfortunate thing. That's one of the things that I personally find frustrating with the matchup, which means that if you're going to fight, again, kind of what we were talking about, like the hot potato kind of match, there's very few characters that beat Siegfried in that regard. You have to hit him a lot of times, and you can. It is possible. He's going to cycle through his like really strong options that do a lot of damage, but they're not always going to, function appropriately. So now I hope, ends up sussing out the bubble, but that's not, I don't think that that's possible.
Yeah, I would like to see the if you knew it was coming, getting away from it is cool, but in that situation, maybe doing an RI just kind of make things a little bit awkward as you get into the guard break, right?
Especially with the amount of life that he had left, you could actually create, even though it's not guaranteed, you could create a pseudo mix-up that would potentially provide you a chance to win the game.
Right. I think people talk about optimization in the sense of like not blocking it, or like not just like either avoiding it or RIing it. I think each option creates a different response from the player, and I think if you're going to go for scrambles, then maybe RIing it would have been the way, because then it would have been like, maybe he would have taken his turn back, and that would have been more momentum that Dell needed in the match. But it's really kind of hard to say at this point. She's still getting kind of outpaced.
Yeah, for sure. And it's difficult to kind of get away from that from Siegfried. So I definitely feel like you have to go one of the 2 ways, or a combination of both. Either play the game from... No, that's not... See, she always goes for verticals whenever that's a whiff. That is definitely a JJJ kind of thing to do, unfortunately. And so you'd have to get... Like, it is a guaranteed hit. You can just throw out a Hori, and you should be fine. But it's a difficult kind of thing to deal with, what with the fact that you're looking at Siegfried in base hold. So you don't feel like a Hori is like the way to go. Right.
Interestingly enough, if you're gonna not poke out Siegfried, I actually want to see Zaslabel here.
Yeah, I kind of do too, but at the same time, I don't think she's going to do that, because I don't think that she's been playing Zas like at all in the past, like since COVID happened.
Right. But there's still a lot of time. There's still a lot of potential time in the set. This is the first to 10. Anything can happen. Once you understand how something's going to happen, or how someone plays, sometimes it takes people longer than others. I know that I take very long to figure things out. So you actually just never know.
I also do appreciate the fact that she's taking a bit of time in between games, because that was always something that would happen to me when I was first starting out playing in Soul Calibur, where I would play this match, I would immediately go into rematches. Maybe I get frustrated, maybe I don't, but it would be like 10 minutes after the match is finished, and I'd be like, oh, why didn't I try that? Like, I could have tried, like, this other thing. And so I go out of my way to not go into rematch immediately, literally any time that I lose even a single game. And I might not even be necessarily thinking about specific answers that I can do, just in terms of allowing my mind to achieve some level of clarity that doesn't involve just immediately... The only time that I will immediately press rematch is if I won, because, I don't know, I think it's kind of rude for the winner to do the thing that I just described.
The guard break again. Is
that it? I think it is. No, it's not, because the walls are weird.
Right. Maybe a While Rising B there. It's A plus B again would have gotten ring up there.
Yeah. Seems like Dell's having a tough time understanding how to deal with the bubble.
Yeah.
Dead to a CE, both of them.
The grab.
Ooh, close with the low.
Okay, we're on the board. All right. I know we've been focusing on what needs to happen on Dell's side, but can we talk about Scavengers recognizing what has been working and sticking to that game plan?
Oh, absolutely.
He's doing a great job just bullying at this point. Just even in the situations, and just creating this mental frame advantage that he's capitalized off so well.
It's another relatively common pitfall that players fall into, where they find something that works, and then apropos of nothing, they just decide to change it up, because potentially the opponent's going to realize the mix, and I want to be able to do this preemptively before he figures it out. But also, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
make the opponent prove to you that they know how to deal with this, because the fact of the matter is, I don't know, who cares? Just do the like, I use the same move over and over again. I'm not gonna stop doing it if it's working.
Exactly. You know, if you like your pumpkin spice latte, why get something else? You know. But as we say this, Dell is actually making a comeback.
Yeah, it's got 8 with 2 rounds. Yeah, don't get wrung out here. That's like the main way that you can potentially lose.
Yeah. Also, don't. Oh,
I
nice.
don't think that's in time. Oh, okay, here we go. I just assumed that it's not in time, but she has Coda now.
So this is in a very good position. Oh, the trade!
That was an awesome trade, actually. I'm over the moon if I'm Dell. She took like no damage.
That 2K was from like Europe.
First time that we've seen the 2K, I swear.
Yeah.
But yeah, significantly more just tiny pokes, just, you know, trying to overwhelm the opponent, because basically the only time it really seemed like Scavenger was in the zone when it came to the rounds that he lost was during, like, that soul charge spree at the very end, which is going to happen, because it's soul charge. That's the way it is.
But, you know, I mean, this is also kind of what happened before, you know. I think someone won the... I think Dell won the first game?
No, Scav won the first, Dell won the second, and then Scav went on the spree.
Yeah, and so, you know, it's not an unfamiliar position that Scav's been in. So, we'll see if Dell can continue the streak, or if Scavenger will figure something out, or will continue to... Will he even need to feel like he needs to change his game plan, you know? Because I think the changes that Dell made were very subtle. And there's a potential that Scavenger could actually out-damage the changes. But, I mean, now she's changing up her timing, understanding when Scav wants to play, and her mixes are actually hitting... to a point where Scavs can't even get a chance to fight back.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm in Scav's position, I'm thinking like, yeah, she's definitely going through this thing where she's understanding the timing that I'm doing, and I'm potentially not taking her Oki as seriously as I should. But also, I have so many games up that I'm just gonna see if I can go back to what I was doing before, and like, I would be in Scav's position, I would be comfortable losing 2 full additional games before I actually start thinking seriously about considering a full adaptation to what's going on. You have so much padding, you might as well just see if it happened to be a fluke. Right,
that was actually good wall recognition, or position recognition by Scavenger there, getting the wall combo. Didn't really capitalize on the LK afterwards, but did we needed to do. No punish there, it's -12, not -14.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of situations that Dell is putting Scav into where Scav isn't necessarily respecting the wake-up as much, or is respecting it for just a second and then sidestepping, and so that's where Dell's getting a lot of her damage. Speaking of a lot of damage... Actually, that would be a lot of damage for Amy, it wouldn't be a lot of damage for Siegfried.
Yeah, see, that was very tame for Siegfried. No punish there on that swing either. Nice duck, but no punish again!
Oh man, what a late GI. Oh no!
Ooh, wait.
It was supposed to, I think Dell went for like the jumping move, though I don't know if there's anything in that situation that beats. Soul attack, huh? Oh, okay.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, I guess. It's for your second round.
Yeah, it's very expensive. You'll get it back, so I mean, you know, it works.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the idea of spending whatever resources you need in order to win your second round, because you're going to get some of that bonus resources back.
Right. Especially in this situation where, you know, Tyr is pretty far away from Coda. She's going to get closer to Coda, but she's still pretty far away, you know.
It's a pretty good chance we're not going to see it at all.
Right.
Okay, here we go.
No move switch, which is actually bad, but also good, because you get to run the mix again. Nice. Soul charge, get away from me. Okay.
I definitely understand this.
Right.
Oh boy. No, it's too far away! No, it's not!
No, she teleports! Okay, so this is good. If she can get this round,
she's gotta be very good. Bubble. No! I saw that coming.
That was the most Maryland bubble I've seen in my life, and I love it.
It was literally full screen.
Yes, actually just full screen away.
Important to note, it is now 9... I guess you don't necessarily need to see the overlay boom, because you can see the amount of games that have been won, like, right here. It's amazing what you can do when you don't have to deal with online. Yeah.
I think the cool thing is that there are 8 letters in Maryland, and Scavenger's from Maryland. You know, he's got 9 wins, he's got 2 more letters, you know. When Maryland conquered New York, we added 2 more letters, NY. So that's, you know, Maryland plus NY equals 10. So hopefully he can get this last game, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Maryland.
One of the things I really hate about the Maryland scene is that they have some sort of an innate ability to pretend like they're using math when actually they aren't, and it really bugs me. Because Boom is under the impression like, oh, isn't this interesting? I should be like the next writer for the Da Vinci Code. When really what he did was 8 plus 2 equals 10. And
yeah,
fuck
you're
that.
right. You know what?
What's up?
I'm proud to be a Marylander, bro. I'm so proud to be from Maryland.
Yeah.
Like if maybe you're just jealous that you're not from Maryland. I think that's what it is.
I'm all right. Philly is pretty amazing. We throw batteries at Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's actually
it's actually something that happened, by the way.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. We destroy our city no matter whether we win or lose the latest sports game.
Yeah, that sounds like Maryland.
But hey, at least we're not Baltimore, right?
Right. You know,
Baltimore is the only place where I have been harassed by homeless people to the point where I felt legitimately in danger for my life.
You know, that is one point that I will concede. Yes.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct.
Now, that being said, it would be unfair of me to say like that never happens in Philadelphia. I don't know why I would. All I mean to say is it's the only time where a homeless person has come up to my friends and I while we were eating at a restaurant and like decide to like force us into a situation where we had to like pay them money if we like lost a game that they set up, and because we didn't want to entertain it, he got really upset with us and started throwing shit at us, and we got very scared.
It sounds like your first time. It's happened a lot.
Yeah, shout outs to Otacon. Yeah.
Oh,
oh, we found this out, huh? The foundational pillar has been broken. Now that being said, Dell won the first round, and she has 5 stance changes, so not to go 1-1. So what do you do? But
and actually, you know, Scav doesn't kill. I think it's interesting when it comes to tier and being able to understand when you need to kill to stop the move switches there. But yeah, 6 move switches for Dell. Dell's in a very good position, even though like they're both pretty even on meter and health. The 1K not being blocked, that is something you need to understand. Okay, going for the lows, understanding that the Scavenger is not blocking all of them. But
hey,
you
Boom,
know,
I apologize for my ignorance, but you said like what kinds of moves that you have to kill tier in order to make sure she doesn't get another stance change. What would that be? I'm asking.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
I want to know.
I think you can go by the threshold, beat the threshold or something like that. I don't know. It's very rare. It's very certain. It's I think.
I was about to say I really wish that Dell had found some sort of an opportunity to spend bar. I feel like people are too, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I feel like people are significantly too conservative with their meter, and there's so few situations where I see people use meter aggressively. There was a situation that Dell had in the previous round where we had a similar stage position, but Scab was on the ground. If she had used Soul Charge there, I think it would have been really smart, because you could have potentially added pressure with a bar that you were going to get back where you two have lost the round anyway.
Right. Here's the code. It goes back into Jolly. Oh, minus. Not what I think it is, but it's
Coda, is that it? That is it. Congratulations to Scavenger.
Let's go, Maryland. You know, Maryland, coming up in Maryland. Was that's our 3rd exhibition in a row that we won? You know?
Well, no.
Is it not?
No.